Hello, chat. How is everyone doing today? I'm gonna actually go to the just chatting thing now. Hello. I need to add a transition to these. I seriously need to. They're just so abrupt. We got the boy, and he's wearing his overalls again, but also the Winnie the Pooh sweater. Oh, chat. Do you guys want a sneak peek of the Valentine's merch? So it's like a little embroidered sweater. You can't really see it in the camera. I posted a couple pictures on my Instagram. That's a really bad picture, but you can actually see, like, the stuff on it and whatever. Normally when I put my phone closer, it stops lagging. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, let's start the game, and I'll pause Spotify. Sorry, Wilbur Soot, but, we need to play Scary Game now. Load. That was Sunset's birthday, January 2nd. The sun seemed to illuminate the front of the building perfectly as we drove up. Cypress, I don't know. I've heard of this place before. I've seen job ads for it. Ah. They were looking for nurses and other stuff. Twyla told me, yeah, her name is Twyla. Okay, I was correct. Twyla told me what? That did not say me, that said the. Twyla told the driver to return in about 2 hours or so before stepping out of the car. I followed her. The air smelled fresh and clean as we headed towards the welcoming door. It must have been all flowers must have been all the flowers planted outside. As we stepped through the entranceway, my senses were bombarded with an extremely sanitized smell. The lights felt bright, and I noticed that no windows had their curtains drawn. It felt extremely clean and open in here, and there was the faint sound of what I can only describe as old people music playing in the other room. Surprisingly, there was no one at the front counter. Twyla seemed to notice this as well. Oh good, no one to interrogate us about why we're here. This already became 10 times easier. I don't know why I said minutes. In fact, this is a good place to start. How do you mean? What else would I mean, Mary? I'm going to look through the computer. Oh, Twyla, please don't. Mary, please. Don't make a bigger deal out of this than it is. I'm not stealing anything, and it's for a greater good, alright? What would going through the old folks' home computer do? For the greater good. Stop making me go over this. Alright, but only because it's for a greater good. Good. Now, while I get started, go out there and distract them. But how? I don't know, it's your job. Ask nurses where things are, pretend you're entertainment. Even fake a medical emergency, I don't care. Just make sure no one comes over here. And if you spot anyone coming over here, stop them. Or alert me, so I can get out. How should I alert you? I don't know, shout something, like, look, a deer, and point to the nearest window. I'll know what it means when I hear it. Alright, that makes sense. Good, now get on out there. We don't want to waste any time. Alright. As instructed, I walked further into what appeared to be a common room. There were some elderly people there, as well as around 3 or 4 nurses to watch them. I collected a few odd glances as I entered, but it was important that I not look suspicious. Though when it comes to me, I just tried to smile and look inviting. Yeah, just randomly coming into, like, an old folks' home and not visiting a grandparent or something is already kind of suspicious, unless you work there. But being a distraction proved more difficult than I thought it would be. Yeah. Talking to people didn't seem the right way to go about it. I can see that. I don't even know what I would have said. I didn't want to say the wrong thing and come off as even more suspicious. Though I'm sure I looked nervous enough as it is. I kept looking over to Twyla. She was always steady at work, it seemed. I wonder what she was even looking for. She clearly knew what she was doing, but maybe she'd thought I wouldn't understand it or something. Or maybe I was scared I wouldn't agree to doing this if I knew. While I tried to appear distracting and kept a lookout, I also tried to look through some drawers or bookshelves when people's eyes weren't on me. I felt dirty and wrong, even if this was a common area. I just didn't like snooping and all. But it's not like it mattered, I guess, because I didn't find anything important. But at one point I noticed a nurse heading to the front desk. I was about to shout our whole deer plan, but it's a good thing I turned to check before I yelled, because when I looked back over there, Twyla was gone. That's strange. Where'd she go? Did she just get up and head somewhere else without telling me? She wouldn't leave the building, right? Or did she already get caught because I wasn't checking enough? Well, either way, there was no use to me being in the common room anymore. I made my way out and went to go look for her. Of course, she was snooping around, if she was snooping around, I couldn't just out and call her name. So I tried to be quiet as I looked and made sure to keep a lookout for anything strange as I did. And I did actually happen to cross something strange. There was a trail of something on the floor. I noticed it as I looked down. It was like a stain spread across the floor. It wasn't red, so I didn't think it was blood or anything. So I don't think it was blood or anything. If I bent down really close, it even vaguely smelled of fruit, if that made sense. It's fruit punch. Someone spilled their fruit punch. Clean up the fruit punch stain. It would be helpful. It was something familiar, and yet it seemed unfamiliar too. It's fruit punch. It is fruit punch. I couldn't exactly pin what it was. It's fruit punch, stupid. I hope my parents know that I'm streaming and that I'm not just yelling it's fruit punch into my microphone. Okay. Something about it just felt off. It's fruit punch, but alcohol. Like, this isn't the type of stain you're supposed to find here. All I knew is what it looked like, and that it formed a trail. Naturally, I started to follow it. But I didn't get very far. Excuse me, miss. Before I heard a woman's voice speaking to me harshly. I looked up to see a nurse in front of me. She did not look happy. Oh, hello there. What are you doing? Huh? What do you mean? Are you looking for something? Well, not particularly. I mean, I noticed you in the common room earlier, and now you're looking around the halls. What is it you're here for? Because it doesn't seem like you came to visit someone. Oh, no, I did. I just was surprised they weren't in the common room, so I went to look for them. I went to look for their room. But, I couldn't remember the number. Really now? Who is it you came to visit then? Oh, my grandpa. I'm here to visit my grandfather. You can't mistake him, he looks a lot like me. We've both got red hair and, glasses. I mean, I don't have glasses, but he does. And, he's pretty old, and, what's his name? I just realized my computer is not straight. Neither am I, though, so. His name? Oh, shoot. Shoot. What am I supposed to say? If I say the wrong thing, I'm doomed. I felt absolutely cornered now, but it was then that I noticed. Twyla. She was all the way at the end of the hall, right past the nurse in front of me. She seemed to have spotted me as I was looking for her. I looked as if I was, it looked as if she was, I cannot speak. It looked as if she was crossing into some other rooms, but I guess she noticed it looked like I was in trouble. Should I call her over? Maybe she can help me. She looked through the computer after all. She could give me, she could give the nurse the name she's looking for. But what should I do? Call over Twyla. I called over Twyla to come help me. She appeared visibly annoyed and a bit startled that I called to her, but she made her way over to me anyway. The stern look on her face made me start to regret calling her over. Oh no. Okay. You two are together? Yes, we are. My apologies. We got separated from my cousin. What? I got separated from my cousin when she went to get something from our car. Cousin? Okay. She texted me to come and find her because she got lost. Yes, thank you for explaining. I couldn't find the words to explain it properly to the nurse. All I was able to get out was that we're here to visit our grandfather. What is your grandfather's name? Ed Wraithward. Red hair like my cousin? Okay. I don't get why it keeps skipping it like that. No, I understand. Sorry, I apologize if I came off as rude. Here, I'll take you two back to his room. Just take careful note of his room number this time. Will do. The nurse escorted us to this stranger's room. Twyla was a lot better at lying than I was. I was glad she was able to defuse the situation, but she shot daggers at me the entire time we walked. Once we were in the room, the nurse left us, and it was just me, Twyla, and this old man. Well, only for a few moments. Mary, don't do that next time. You could have landed us both in trouble. What the heck? I had to read that! You could... Oh. I'm really sorry, Twy. Listen, just stay here, alright? It's better if you don't give them any more reason to be suspicious. I'll come get you when I'm done. Ah! But Twyla, I saw she was already out the door before I could finish. I wasn't able to tell her about the strange trail I had seen. I wanted to go back out there and tell her, but when I opened the door again, she was nowhere in sight. And I didn't want to try chasing after, just in case I got the hiccups all of a sudden. Just in case I was caught again. So defeated, I made my way back over to where the old man had been silently sitting the entire time. I pulled up a stool and took a seat across from him. Hello, sir. Hello? Mr. Ed? Who's there? Hello, Mr. Ed. It's, very nice to meet you. I hope this isn't too awkward. Eh? Sorry. Let me turn up my hearing aid. Blind as a bat and already losing my hearing, too. Alright now, come again? Who is this? I ain't had a visitor in forever. Granddaughter, we don't know each other. Sure. Granddaughter? Heh. Nice try, lassie. But I have 4 grandsons and not a single granddaughter. Maybe old, but I still got a little memory left in me. Okay, well... Okay. I see. Sorry I tried to lie to you. I'm Mary. I don't think you heard me say it earlier, but it's very nice to meet you. Ed, and a pleasure to meet you too. I'm sorry, I don't really know what to talk about. Well, for starters, why don't you tell me why you're here? Seems a little suspicious to get a sudden visitor I don't know. Yeah, that's true. I don't know if I should. Why's that? You're not up to anything bad, are you? Oh, no, not at all. In fact, I'm here for a good reason. And with a friend, too. Well, she's not with me now, but she was here, she was in here earlier, but I don't know if you saw her. I almost got in trouble with the nurses, so she got mad at me. The nurses are a bunch of, hard butts. Oh my. What? It's true. Acting like they gotta baby us all the time. Let me tell you, just because I'm wearing diapers doesn't mean I'm a baby. I see. Are they really so annoying? Oh, do you know it? Don't get me wrong here. There's a few sweethearts, but wow, some of these folks need to take it. What's it called? Chill pill? Yeah, one of those. I love this man already. I'm sure they just want to make sure you're okay. Yeah, I get it. I'm sure it ain't... My headphones are like pulling on the computer and making it all crooked, and I don't like it. I'm sure it ain't an easy job, but it's a bit hard to be around them acting so strictly all the time, even when you don't need them to be. How do you mean? Well, they ain't always the nicest company, that's all. Do you not enjoy their company? Well, it isn't awful, but I'd much rather hang out with friends and family and people of the like. Well, why can't you? They're dead. Oh. Okay. I'm sorry for your loss. Are you okay? Happens to all of us. He's smiling, bro. He's literally smiling. None of my friends seem to have lasted as long as I did. And your family? Well, they ain't dead. Most of them ain't. But they might as well be. Why do you say that? Hell, they never came to visit me. Only showed up to visit my old home when my wife died. None of them wanted to take care of me. Because who would, right? Stuck me in the fattest Stuck me in here, the fastest chance they got. Sorry. That's a tad rude of me. I shouldn't be talking like that. Some of them actually called to say they'd visit soon. So, I'm sorry. That's really sad. Fooey? Fooey? Aw, Fooey, don't worry. Fooey? I don't know. Don't worry about that. I guess it's just expected when you're old. People see you less and less the older you get. I know this is sudden, but you mentioned your wife died. May I ask you some things about your wife? If that's alright. Please? Sure. When did she die? How did she die? How? How did she die? You know, it was so long ago. I don't even remember. Long ago? I see. Did she pass peacefully, at least? I'm sorry, was that too hard? Was that too brash? I hope it was peaceful. She deserved only the best and sweet... She deserved only the best, the sweetheart she was. I hope. If they're not visiting me, they better be visiting her. Huh? Who? Your wife? Who else? Being in my state, I can't visit her. So those children of mine better be paying their respects. And giving her the company I can't. Actually, this may sound very strange, but I think I've met her before. Hmm? Well, I live very close to the cemetery, and, I like to make sure that every person has at least a flower. Your last name, it seems familiar to me. I think I've met her before, so I hope I can reassure you that she hasn't been forgotten. Is that so? You really do that? For some reason, you don't... For someone you don't even know? Well, yes. I believe that people always deserve respect, even after passing. And if you feel she's not getting enough, well, I'm more than happy when I'm able to provide. And I can visit you too. Like, here. You said your family doesn't visit you enough, right? Well, I'm sure I can make time to visit you here, and maybe I'll be able to take... maybe I'll be able to take you to visit your wife too. I'm sorry, I just got a bit weird there, didn't I? I'd like that. Oh! You would really? I'm so glad then. Before I could say much else, a nurse popped in to check on us. Yoo-hoo! Hello, hello, hello! How's everything going in here? Everyone doing okay? Oh yes, thank you. Glad to hear it. Well, I've come to bring you your special lunch, Ed. Lunchtime already? I see, thank you. The nurse pulled out one of those small folding tables and placed a tray down placed down a tray of food for Ed. Ed sipped a spoonful of soup and coughed. I immediately began to worry that he was choking, but then... Shit! What's happening? Ed? Oh dear, oh my. Don't worry, this will be fine. I need to call someone for help, that's all. I saw the nurse reach over and pull out what looked like a walkie-talkie. She scrambled to get it working as she voiced that there was an emergency. Before I knew it, nurses started to flood the room, and I was pushed out by them. I tried to look over to see what was happening, but it was no use. There were too many of them, and I was also too short to see past. I felt a tight feeling in my throat as I nervously fiddled my hands together. I don't know what happened. I tried to listen, but but with all of the nurses talking and panicking at once, it was hard. I think I heard something about an ambulance, but I couldn't be sure. I wasn't sure what to do next, but then... Twyla! There you are. Hey, what's going on in there? The man, the guy. Use your words, Mary. The guy in there. He started choking, and now a bunch of nurses are in there trying to fix it. I think I heard one call for an ambulance. Really? That's a lucky break for us then. Huh? Well, if they're all in there, we can snoop even further without getting caught. Twyla? He's having an emergency! Yeah, and? What if it's the work of the butcher? I was thinking that too. What if someone poisoned the soup? Think about it. Maybe this is because the butcher really did decide to strike here today. Maybe they're still around, and maybe we can catch them or find something they left behind. Twyla, please. Come on, who knows how much time we have. You may let this opportunity go to waste, but I won't. If you're not going to look with me, then wait outside until I'm done. I'm looking whether you like it or not. Twyla, no! I had no choice. I had to follow Twyla. I didn't want her doing something even worse. Luckily, most of the doors she tried to get in were locked anyway. But then she tried to get into the kitchen. Before she could step inside, I reached out and tried to pull her back. She was insistent on getting in. Twyla, stop it. Let go, Mary, I need to look. I saw something in here earlier, but I couldn't get a close enough look until now. So get off before you really get on my nerves. You said you won't. You said you wouldn't be like this. Twyla, this is going way too far. It's not like we're real what? It's not like we're real police or detectives or something. We're trespassers, Twy. We don't know how long everyone will be gone for. If someone comes back and sees us in here, we can get in big trouble. Please. It's not worth it. You're right. Fine then, let's go. I let go of Twyla and we started back down the hall. Though, from the corner of my eye, I could swear I saw her rush in really quick. But when I turned around, she was right behind me. So I want to believe she didn't do anything underhanded. Twyla took out her phone and made sure the chauffeur was on his way. I hadn't even realized it had already gotten near the time we planned to leave. We stepped out of the building and into the soft sunshine. It felt so strange to have everything seem so peaceful out here, and compared to the chaos going on inside. Worry still swelled in my chest, but I assured myself that they had everything under control as we sat on the curb and waited for our ride. We didn't say much. I was fine with that. Before I knew it, our ride showed up, and we crawled into the back seat. As we drove off, I noticed the ambulance, sirens blaring, pulled into the front of the home. My heart sank once again. During the ride, I looked over to Twyla. She seemed to be texting like crazy on her phone. She seemed frustrated. That was probably my fault, I figured, so I tried to make sure I was still on her good side. Twyla? Are you mad at me? I'm sorry. I didn't think... What? I don't think I'm cut out for this as you've... What? I don't think I'm as cut out for this as you'd like me to be. It's fine. I'm not upset. You sure? Yes. I collected a lot of information from there. I'll have a lot to go over when I analyze my findings later. Oh, I'm glad then. Something is wrong with my throat. The rest of the ride was mostly quiet until she asked where I wanted to be dropped off. As my go-to, I told her to let me off at the cemetery. She called me a weirdo, but dropped me off there anyway. The rest of my day was pretty uneventful after that, but I am really truly thankful for that. I don't know what I would have done if something else awful had happened. I went home at my usual time and carried on as normal. Where were you today? You're not already here, are you? Okay, did I read that correctly? I did, okay. Why do you think that I am? Because something happened today. Oh? And what was that? I don't know if I should tell you. Then how do I know what how would I know what you're talking about? Never mind. I'm sorry, I just can't tell you. I can't be that trustworthy of you right now. I understand. By any means, I hope you feel better about what happened soon. Try not to think about it too much. And get a good night's sleep. I always try to. Good night, Mary. It had been a few days since I last talked to Twyla. Well, I mean, I had been talking to her. But she isn't the easiest to hold on a conversation with. Unless she wants to talk about the butcher, there's really nothing we have to talk about. And things regarding it have been pretty quiet lately. Well, on my end at least. I don't know what Twyla's doing, or if she's found anything. I feel like she doesn't really trust me. But, well, that's fair. We don't really know... What? We don't really know each other too well. But maybe she'll start to trust me the more we work together. That's how friendship works, right? Yeah, basically. Anyways, I'm spending time. I'm spending today at home, like I've been. Going out is nice, but I need a little break every once in a while, too. Not Croven, though, apparently. He always leaves the house, even if it's not a nice day. He stays out all day, too, so it can get pretty lonely when he's not around. But it's not so bad. I've been able to keep myself pretty entertained. I started reading the book I started reading the book that the old bookstore owner had given me. When I saw the title, How to Talk to Ghosts, I figured it was, well, figurative. I thought it would be it would be some spooky story with a clever title. But to my surprise, it is written as more of an instructional guide. It's a very interesting read, and I'm curious as to how they got all this information anyways. As previously mentioned, ghosts exist on a different plane of existence. That much is obvious. Yet, they can communicate with us, despite their beings existing on a separate layer from ours. We see time and time again their attempts to reach us. Perhaps it is because they are angry, perhaps it is because they are lonely. Does each ghost exist on their own, or do spirits share a realm with one another, expanding and everlasting? Is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Or is there only purgatory, stretching for miles beyond what we can comprehend? These are questions I cannot yet answer, for if I could, I wouldn't be here writing this right now, would I? But there is a question I have been able to answer. Since ghosts can make contact with us, I often wondered, could we contact them? Sure, you've heard of psychics and mediums and whatnot, but that is only half of what I am talking about. Being born with the innate ability is a factor, of course, but I want to delve... What? Yeah, I want to delve deeper than that. Despite where they may exist, they can clearly affect things in our realm. They can reach us, and... They can reach us, and like one-way glass, I know they can see us. But what if we could see them? It is not enough to hear them, I want to see them, to travel to where they were. I believe that when you die, perhaps your soul can become unrestricted. But what if we could accomplish the opposite? What if a living being had the ability to unrestrict itself before death? Perhaps this sounds like crazy talk. Perhaps this sounds like crazy talk, but you will find that I successfully... Oh, my phone is ringing. Hello? Hi. Oh, hi, Twyla. Did you need something? No. Well, kind of. Remember how we went to Cypress Side the other day? Yeah, sort of. Why? Do you happen to remember the name of that guy you talked to? You mean Ed? Yes, but his last name also. Braithward? Thank you. I was sure I had it right. I just wanted some confirmation. Oh, okay. Is there, anything else you need from me? Or him? I mean, did you... I mean, you did call instead of text, so... Oh, that was just to ensure I got an immediate response. Oh, well, okay. If you need any more, information on him, I'm going to visit him this weekend, so... In the cemetery? What happened? No, in their retirement home. Mary. You know he died, right? Huh? I mean, I figured you kept on top of all that stuff. You didn't know? He died that day we went. Guess that emergency he had was serious after all. It also means the butcher could have been there when we were. That's why I was looking more into it just now. I hope you weren't too attached. I'll talk to you later. I was heartbroken. The butcher could have been there? Was it because of us? Because we were there investigating them? Were they on our trail? Did Ed die because we I had trouble sleeping that night. Understandable. And I made sure to stop by the cemetery every day, finding out as much information as I could. If he really did die, because I wasn't going to miss his funeral. Normally, when I put flowers on graves, especially new ones I haven't seen before, I bring flowers I grew myself. Buying them can get expensive, and it feels more genuine to grow my own. But I had just been growing a new patch. I didn't have any new flowers I could bring, so I took all the little buds I could get together and wrapped them up and invited invited myself in. Wouldn't you know, his funeral was the same day I was planning on visiting him. Isn't it funny how life works out? Normally, I don't cry at funerals. Of course, every single person there is a ginger. Okay. She doesn't stick out too much, I guess. I mean, at least the ones where I know the person. At least I don't. Okay. I mean, at least the ones where I don't know the person well. But I had to cry now. I had no choice but to cry. All I could think about was him sitting there in his room talking about how lonely he was. How no one ever came to visit him. Well, they came to visit now. He wasn't alone now, right? I didn't talk to any of his family, and they didn't talk to me, and I was fine with that. I didn't want to explain my reason for being here. The overwhelming sense of guilt was enough weight on my shoulders. I didn't want to have to explain it to them, too. I normally don't like to outlast family members at their own family's funerals, but I couldn't help it this time. I had to stay. I had to stay as long as I could to somehow possibly make up for what I may have caused. Family members dwindled, and eventually they all left. I'm sure they were confused that I didn't. But I didn't want to move from this spot, even if you tried to drag me. Do you realize you're standing on his grave right now? That is... Okay. Oh, Ed. I'm so sorry. You didn't deserve this. I'm so sorry. This might be my fault. Maybe she was right. Maybe if I helped her more, or we had worked quicker, maybe your family came to visit, you know? Just like you wanted them to. They seemed to miss you a lot. So I hope you know that they were thinking of you. And your wife. You're right next to her, you know? I had been leaving her flowers for so long, and I hope you know that. I was taking care of her this whole time. So I'm sure she wasn't lonely. And maybe you won't be either, now that you're right beside her. I'm sorry. I don't know what else to say other than I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I must have been really exhausted. The guilt I was feeling and how much I cried. I didn't even remember falling asleep. I had just been leaning against his gravestone, crying. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up on the ground of an unfamiliar place. I picked myself up off the ground and looked around. Everything seemed strange. There was a faint green glow all around. Something's wrong with my throat. You can't really hear it, I don't think, but I can. I mean, I could feel it. I couldn't hear it. The air felt foggy and moist. In front of me was a house that looked familiar to the cabin, but this wasn't the cabin, was it? I had no clue where I was. What do I do? Look around, take a whiff, feel, listen, knock on door. Look around. I looked all around me, except for the house. I could see nothing in the distance. There were no other buildings. There were no trees either, or people. It was almost uncomfortable how empty it felt. Feel. The grass felt like a soft carpet. The rocks and wood of the house felt artificial, almost plastic-like. Take a whiff. I took a big whiff to smell my surroundings. There was the faint smell of lilies coming from all directions, though I didn't see any. Listen. Silence. Knock on door. Well, I suppose there's not much else I can do. I climbed up the porch and walked up to the door. Standing in front of it, I politely knocked, waiting to see if there was someone inside. I didn't hear anything, so I knocked again, a little louder this time. I heard something coming. Then the door creaked, and the handle slowly turned. And what answered was... Ed! Well, hey there! Ed, is that really you? I don't know who else it would be. I'm so glad. I gave Ed a big hug as he invited me inside. I was so pleasantly surprised. He led me into the kitchen area and offered me refreshments. I politely declined as I pulled up a stool to talk to him. Because the Ed that I know is... I'm very happy to see you, you know. But how is this possible? How do you mean? Well, you died. Died? Oh, yes, I suppose that did happen. I nearly forgot. How the heck? Okay. Actually, that's curious then, because how did you get here if I'm dead? Well, I don't know. I just woke up here. Alright then. I hope you enjoy your stay. If you're here long enough, my wife should be back any minute. You could say hi. Oh. Your wife? She's here too. I'm so glad you could see her again. Me too. Funny thing is, I'm pretty sure she knows you too. She does? Had I ever met her before then? Not sure. But she says a red-haired girl brings her flowers a lot. And you're the only red-headed girl I know that's not in the family. Really? That's... Hey, while I'm here, can I ask you something? If that's okay. I don't see why not. How exactly did you die? Well, beats me. 1 second I was eating lunch with you there, then I started coughing. Things were pretty dark for a while, and before I knew it, I was here. Sitting in a cozy chair, and feeling right as peach. Really? Just like that? Was it painful? Maybe a little, but not for too long. I just remember my lunch tasting a little different. It was poisoned! It was poisoned! Maybe it was spoiled? Then I just couldn't breathe. Probably started choking from eating too fast. But would choking cause him to cough up blood like that? I see. And that's all you remember? Can't say there was much else. Thank you. Even a little information helps a lot. Helps in what? Oh, don't worry about it. Besides, I don't think you really have much to worry about if you're here. Well, I suppose that's true. Sure you don't want anything while you're here then? We just stocked the fridge, so go on, help yourself. How the heck do you stock the fridge if you're dead? Oh, well, if you insist, I suppose. Thank you very much, then. I got up from the stool to walk towards the fridge. That's kind of weird, isn't it? I didn't think dead people would need to eat. I opened the fridge and looked inside. It was stocked up. It was stocked like a regular fridge would be. Though I can't say I recognized many of the brands here. But I don't think that belongs in a fridge. Oh no, what is it? Because 'Cause that's... Mary? Good old Reggie! I jumped to my feet as soon as I heard my name called. The sound of Reginald's voice had jolted me awake. So, was that just... Oh, thank goodness you're okay. I saw you lying on the ground and was worried something had happened to you. I don't think a cemetery is a very good place to take a nap, you know. A nap? Then, was that all a dream? But Ed, and the way he spoke, I couldn't have made all of that up, could I? Reginald? What are you doing here? Ah, that's right. I never told you, did I? I'm a coffin maker, you see. And, well, I've actually got a business with someone who works here. Oh, you make coffins? That's actually pretty... Before I knew it, someone from behind harshly gripped my shoulder. Oh, why if it isn't Twyla? Hello, Reginald. Huh? Oh, hi, Twy. You're kind of hurting me. What's going on here? Oh, you're friends with Mary too? How lovely. You know, Twy, dear, I haven't seen you at my library in quite some time. Did I say... That did not say my library, that just said the library. Did you stop working there? You should have told me. I look for you when I go in, you know. I was worried something terrible might have happened to you. Uh-huh. Well, it was nice seeing you, Reginald, but Mary and I have to get going. We do? Aw, is that so? Yes, we're already off schedule, so it's best we leave immediately. We are? Oh, alright. Perhaps I'll see you later then. Maybe. Goodbye. Twyla practically dragged me out of the cemetery. I felt really bad since I wasn't able to say goodbye to Reginald first. Once we were out past the gate, Twyla gave me a smack on the back of my head. Ow, why'd you do that? What were you doing with him back there? Huh? What do you mean? Why were you in there with Reginald? Huh? Oh, he helped me. I didn't know you knew him. Stay away from him. Huh? Why? Because he's my top suspect right now. Oh! Maybe I shouldn't like him then. That seems like a pretty fair warning. Really? Why would I lie about that? I don't know. But you're sure it's him? Not entirely, but I can't think of anyone more suspicious. So try to stay away from him if you care for your safety at all. Alright? Well, let's go then. Huh? We're doing something after all. Well, I was just going to do it myself, but since you're here, I might as well take you along too. Let's go. I'll tell you what I know. I'll tell you what I know along the way. Hey, where are we going? Hardware store. Hardware store? Yeah. You see, back when we looked in the kitchen of the retirement home, I saw something. And I'm pretty sure it was... Hey, was it antifreeze? Huh? How'd you know that? Well, back when we were in the retirement home, I saw a trail of something I wasn't sure of. But it was like a trail of floor stains, and they were purple, and... Violet hit me over the head again. Ow. Please stop doing that. Idiot, why didn't you tell me? I didn't have the chance. And, well, something else confirmed it for me, too. Yeah? What's that? Well, back at the cemetery, I think I spoke to Ed's ghost, the man who died. Oh, please, don't try to bring a bunch of supernatural shit into this. I'm serious. I was in the house. His house. You broke in? No, it was like a ghost house. I don't know how to describe it. And he offered me food, but when I looked in his fridge, there was a gallon of antifreeze in there. At least that's what it looked like from the way it was labeled. Right. I promise I'm not making it up. Sure, whatever. By any means, you know what we're looking for. Back when we were in the retirement home, I saw a nearly empty gallon of something magenta-like, with the majority of its label scratched off. I took a sample of it. Analysis showed it was some type of antifreeze. You took a sample? You went back to the kitchen? Oh, don't try to start an argument. I did what I had to do. And it helped us, didn't it? Because now we know it was some type of antifreeze. Some type? It's close enough. Must be some new brand or some bullshit. I don't know. That's not the important part. Listen. That did not say listen. When I looked further into it, I discovered that whatever brand that was, it was completely different from the kind used by the retirement home and their vehicles. That means someone else had to bring in that antifreeze, which most likely means it was brought in for the express purpose of hurting somebody. I want to go around to hardware stores and auto shops and ask what the workers there what they know about antifreeze and this kind specifically. They were really if we're lucky, maybe we can even find out who's been purchasing it. You think that'll work? What if whoever was using it ordered it online? I doubt it. Because if the butcher really is using antifreeze, then they're probably out buying it and paying for it with cash. It's much easier to track a digital footprint. Even if it wasn't, it wouldn't look good when the authorities finally realize the murder weapon and discover you've been having it shipped to your house for the past few weeks. And even if not, it's at least worth looking into what kind it is. I never thought of it like that. We're almost there. I'll start talking to employees and see if they can provide me with information. You go and look at all the antifreeze and see if you can find any that looks like this. Twyla showed me a ripped part of the label as well as a liquid sample in a small jar. The liquid looked similar to the kind that stained the floor, except it looked much more magenta here. The label was black with a magenta-ish purple stripe on it. Why did it smell fruity? It looked like there was part of a letter on it, but it was too cut off to know which letter it could have been. It felt weird. What was the label made of? It just felt like old paper. When we got inside the local hardware store, Twyla practically pushed me to the outdoor sections. She went off to go find someone to talk to. I guess it was my job to look for any potential candidates. Where should I look? Bottom shelves, middle shelves, and then top shelves. Nothing down here but bags of soil and fertilizer. It smells bad. Middle shelves. There's some snow stuff up here. Shovels, gloves, antifreeze. Though none of these look like the bottle I'm looking for. There's a lot of blue and green, even some pink, but nothing with this purpley magenta color. There was definitely something going on with that antifreeze. Somewhere has to have it. Or at least some worker. Who knows what we're talking about. But even if we find it, does that really mean we can't find who's buying it? Top shelves. It's too high for me to see, unfortunately. One of those roller stair things was in the aisle, though. I thought about climbing it, but I was worried I might get in trouble. I guess I'll wait for an employee to come by and help me. I looked very hard, but I didn't find anything. Okay. That just looks like a bottle. Twyla and I tried out a few different stores, but no one seemed to have what we were looking for. Anything that was purple wasn't antifreeze, and anything that was antifreeze wasn't purple. Even when we asked the employees, they didn't seem to know what we were talking about. Even showing them a label, they would say they've never seen antifreeze or coolant packaging like that in their shelves. Our efforts seemed fruitless. So eventually, we just gave up. At least for the day, that is. Twyla didn't even offer me a ride home or anything. She seemed really fed up. I guess I could see why. I just ended up heading back home after that. We had spent a while out together, and it wasn't as if I could do much more today. The day was pretty exhausting, anyways, so I went home to do all the usual evening things. And night proceeded as normal. Can I ask you a strange question? Are you there? Where are you? I'm here. What was your question? Have you been to the hardware store recently? That's a strange question. Why do you ask? Can you just answer it, please? I have not. I don't really see why that's important. Did something happen? No, I was just curious, that's all. But if you haven't, then it doesn't matter. If you say so. Good night, Mary. It's been a few days since then. More than a few. Things have been very quiet. I stay home, I go out, but nothing new or interesting has really happened. I don't hear a lot from Twyla anymore. I want to message her sometimes, but I'm afraid she's mad at me, or something like that. I haven't been a lot of help to her, and when I try, well, I just mess it up, I guess. Maybe it'd be better if she didn't ask for my help. It's not like I know how any of this works. Maybe she should have just interviewed me and been done with it. Then she wouldn't have to get frustrated with me all the time. Croven's gone out today. Even with all this rain. I guess he just hates staying home. I mean, maybe I'd go out too if I had somewhere to go. As much as I love the cemetery, walking around it in muddy shoes is less than ideal. I can handle it for a little while, but not as long as I'd like to stay. There's the library and all too, but I still have books here, and it's not really worth getting soaking wet for. The cemetery. I keep thinking about that dream I had there. I had to have just been imagining, right? There's no way that was really Ed's ghost. Unless it was. It's almost like the book I read. That talked about how ghosts were all that ghosts were on a different plane. It's that kind of plane. Is that the kind of plane it was talking about? But if so, how come more people don't see ghosts in their dreams? Maybe they do, and they just don't realize it. If I'm seeing ghosts in my dreams, does that mean my dreams with Mom and Dad mean... I wasn't able to consider that possibility much longer before my phone buzzed with a text message. It was Twyla. Okay, it has been an hour and a half-ish. I'm going to end the stream here. Yeah, it got darker, of course it did. That's a lot darker. It's working! Yo, now you can see me, haha. Bye, chat. Eat food, drink water, take care of yourself, all that stuff. Bye! Take your meds, yeah, bye. And hello, VOD watchers!